Hello, this is Layla Art. Wrote some notes down. It's a bright sunny day. The temperature is the high today, about 82 degrees today. I jotted some notes down with my little notepad. Big advocate for Dollar Tree. $1.25. So I wrote some stuff down that I want to touch on. And the title of this video will be called Sunlight and Sage. I have notes on sunlight and saging. So I just wanna probably also, as I draw or talk, I want to also try to draw to be like expressive and creative with it, and also just some like intuitive, so excuse me, sorry. Let's see if I can line this up using my tripod on the desk instead of the floor, so it goes almost as tall as me, about 5'4". Now it's at less than a foot height. Let me see if I can just line this up. Okay, so I want to try to draw as I do the notes, like art oracle basically, but also very informational as well. So let's begin. So sunlight, it reminds me of Disney's Lion King. So like the energy of the sun and the lions and their home, their territory, their pride and glory. So like the sun power, but also considering like the mane of a lion, but also they're ruled by the power of the sun. And it's like whatever the light touches is our kingdom, so it's like the mane, and also like little ears in there. So, and then like a little one, so a little cub. It's like so cute. Sorry. Okay, so title is Sunlight and Sage. So sun, whatever the light touches, is our kingdom. Reminds me of Disney's Lion King. And summer's sunlight kills bacteria and mold. So this is like bacteria, like there's different strands of bacteria and like stuff like that. The amoebas, single-celled organisms that turn into like, more complex organisms, and like cell division and multiplication. That's how, life started. One of the theories, Big Bang Theory, everything exploded from so much energy and particles being around. And then like this just, like explosion, like a cloud plume, nuclear plume. So summer sunlight kills bacteria and mold. This reminded me of like hanging your clothing and bedding outside in the light of the day's sun. So you get like clothes hangers, like the old-fashioned ones I happen to like have in my backyard actually. I just gotta buy some clothing line. So you line them up. And put your clothes on it. You drape over your linens, your bedding. So, you do that in the light. of the sun, you know, and it kills the bacteria over here, like eradicates it. It's a natural way to kill germs when low on laundromat money. Definitely. Just gotta watch for bugs getting in before you bring everything in at night in the grass. You know, you get the little spiders and stuff crawling around. You know, nature is always there, always watching, always waiting for you to jump scare you or to jump out on you and at you. I remember having to take in the clothes before it got too dark. And you definitely had to shake them out outside before you brought them in. But the sun also charges gems, drinking water, and colors of your clothing or colors that you lay out with your gems. And for like color therapy, and it also kills germs on a physical level. It kills germs on a physical level with whatever you put out in the sun. Now, if it's like juice and soda and stuff, that could exacerbate the the process of the sugar inside any juice and like sugary drinks. So you only want to do this with water that doesn't have any sugars and like sweeteners and additives in it, because you'll actually grow, this stuff will multiply. So it will multiply if it has juice and sugars and stuff in it. Any popular drinks and whatnot. So it charges gemstones and like precious metals as well. So like anything that's earth, basically. So you have your like your gemstones, your tumbled gemstones, or like I have a necklace of selenite with little gemstones on it and some wiring. Copper wiring is a great conductor and energy harnessing and moving. And yeah, so on a physical level, it charges things. Now the sun is the great primordial source of and for life. Without the sun, our planet here, you know, would be an ice planet. We'd go into an ice age. There'd be nothing growing, nothing warm enough to survive without the power of the nuclear sun. It's a great protection and protector of life. Ancient cultures knew this and incorporated it into their pantheons and deities when naming and creating them. And this is where Amen comes from, as seen in ancient cultures with gods and pantheons and hierarchies. Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra. He is the sun god. So that's where you get Amen when you break things down. And it can also be seen in different languages and stuff, like Ra. Like you can break language down and numbers and letters, and everything has meaning to it. Like this, you know, Disney's Lion King, but also Leo the lion, the father, and the sun, and spirit of all this, life, light, you know, light and life, spirit, the animus, the energy which gives us this life we have. Like we have a heart, we have bones. Well, these are made of, you know, atoms, but so are cells. And one bone alone probably has so many that we can't even like fathom the count of how many atoms it takes to create us. We have billions, if not trillions, of cells, but each cell is made up of energy. So like we have trillions of cells, for example, but then there's that much more energy. And energy is 99, like atoms are 99% dark matter or empty space, and then like the 1% is not empty space, basically, you know, it's light. So nature is found in everything, and we are not different nor separate from it. So during non-summer seasons where light is scarce, like fall and winter, where the sun starts to set early and it's not as intense outside, in order to clean, clear, and cleanse clothing and bedding, you want to like move it indoors. So you would use industrial washers and dryers because they get hotter than our home appliances, our home washers and dryers. And they're also constantly checked for cleanliness, operability, because there are like the dangers of having home appliances getting too hot at home. It can cause a fire. So laundromats have certain codes and of like cleanliness, operability, checking behind certain parts and stuff for mold, mildew, and other buildup. Whereas with home appliances, not too many people are aware that they have to like really look and check for their own cleanliness and operability standards within their washer and their dryer, just as much as a laundromat should and does. And if you need something deeply cleansed, like a great reset of the energy, because like bacteria and stuff does build up in bedding and pillows and everything, and it's required to change your pillows and whatnot every so often and whatnot. And until then, you want to be able to like industrial cleanse it as well, to maintain it, the longevity of having stuff. So yes, so you want to use, you know, at times it's like better to use like for the temperature purposes, you know, like that's the like the Fahrenheit and Celsius and stuff. Like you want to be able to get a good cleansing of your clothes and stuff. And like this is suds moving around like in a washer. It's like, you know, you want to be able to get that great reset going at times, you know. So my little articles of clothing going around in there, and that's like a thermometer. But yeah, so in between washes and dryings, and you know, you can't access for like budgeting and money reasons the industrial washers and dryers, and the sunlight, you know, it sets early, or it's raining, or it's snowing. You obviously don't want to put stuff out if it's not nice, sunny, intense weather. You can sage and smudge. Also wash and dry at home or wherever you go to wash and do your clothes. Some people do industrial only. Some people have their home appliances. Some people hand wash everything. Like back in the times before technology, people would go to rivers and lakes and streams of running water and use the minerals from the spring water and the flowing and running of the water, because flowing water and using rocks and everything to like clean and beat the clothing like against rocks while washing with like a stream that's flowing and whatnot. You put like your pants and stuff in there, and like, you know, there'd be rocks and stuff that they would use to like beat excess soap and water off. Back in the day, back in the ancient times, they would use just natural ways, budget-friendly ways, you know, nearby. But also you can use in conjunction, or like in a duo with, in unison with, you can use sage smudge sticks. So they're like little sticks, like sticks intertwined with threading that when you set on fire, it does like easily disintegrate without causing too much like sparking and like trouble and stuff like that. You get these sage bundles from different holistic stores or stores that sell books or tarot and oracle cards at times, or like massage parlors and like Reiki practitioner parlors. There is one somewhere just outside of the city I live. It doesn't take too long to travel there. Someone owns a parlor. You can get massages, and she sells gems, cards, candles for protection, banishing, and things like that, and different types of sage. I bought white sage from her, 2 sticks, and white sage is a great resetter, a great cleanser. And some people don't believe this, but if you also look at it at a physical level, white sage is a great cleanser of mold and bacteria, not only with what you smudge it against, but in the air in general. So if you don't have an air purifier at home, but you want to, have less mold and buildup of dust and anything in your home, you would smudge the different corners and areas in each room. You would go around smudging it every corner. It eliminates, like, the intensity of the smell can eliminate pests or like get them to move, away, so that you can, I don't know, some people like to squish the bugs or feed them to their pet lizard or whatever you have, or spiders if you have a pet spider. It also clears mold and bacteria buildup out of the air quality in your home. I know there's a lot of air quality advisories, and I remember we had there was a fire in Canada or something some years ago where the smoke and the redness and the air pollutants came into our city, and it was foggy. It was like something out of a video game, and the air quality was very poor, and you wouldn't want to be outside breathing that in for too long. So air purifiers, if you can't afford or have access to an air purifier, there's natural ways to try to do so, especially if it's hard to open up windows and stuff due to different quality advisories of the weather and air outside. So everything with significance in spirit work and energy work tends to have a significance in the physical. So if it clears, cleanses, and banishes pests, unwanted things in your home like mold, bacteria, and pests trying to get into the corners. Not saying spiders are pests, but just saying some people don't like spiders. Some people don't like the house centipedes and, recluses and black widows, or where you live. There's spiders and stuff that you don't want accidentally biting you due to the severity of the bite and or damage and poisons that they may carry to irritate you or a loved one or a pet. So definitely, if you put certain things in the home, it would definitely make it move, and you would okay, there it is, and you would handle the pest. Side note, other ways is natural, black pepper and cayenne pepper. So little spice jars, black pepper, cayenne. You can put it in your mop water. You don't put too much, and you put a mixture of vinegar, cleaning vinegar, your favorite Pine Sol, yellow, purple, or green, or whatever, or the brown one, whichever one smells better for you. You'd put this, just sprinkle some, a little dash in there with the cleaners that you put in your mop water, and this prevents ants and other things like mice from wanting to step through it. Because like imagine getting that on your paws, your claws, your feelers, your antlers, or not antennas, or anything else on your paws. I already said that, but your legs and stuff. Like it's an irritant. You know, some cultures put salt at doorsteps and windows. They also put cayenne or black pepper, and they try to make like something like a poultice where like you add a liquid to it like water, but if you add cleaning vinegar, you know, it becomes something of an irritant, so they don't even want to cross that threshold to get into your home. So that's prevention and maintenance you can put around your home, as long as it doesn't hurt or kill any pets inside the home or children or like outside stuffs. Like you want to definitely keep mice and ants and like termites or anything else away from your home, but also in a way that it doesn't destroy nature and the natural balance of things as well. So you know, the balance of both seen and unseen works, physical and non-physical aspects of each thing you put and know about putting in and incorporating stuff like this in everyday life. Germs weren't discovered and known until people started getting sick, and then, you know, hence or like therefore there were plagues, mass deaths, pandemics, the Black Plague. You know, we've had other pandemics for centuries at a time. You know, the flu, and you have to get vaccinated and things like that, or you have to take precautions based on your belief. Some people don't believe in getting, you know, shots and stuff like that due to their religion and or practices. They don't believe in certain things. And most places do respect that and whatnot. So even if you don't get these, you know, even before vaccines and stuff, a lot of people just go to the old ways of doing things. But it's also okay to do either or both. You know, like whatever works for you in your situation and circumstances and beliefs. So some questions at the end. What are some significant ways you cleanse your spaces, your home, your vehicle, yourself, and others that is deemed like a seen or unseen, or do you use both? Like, do you just do like the natural way of doing things? Do you also get vaccinated? You know, what are some significant ways besides what I mentioned? Are some ways to protect yourself in the way that you see fit for yourself based on your upbringing, your teachings, your understandings, and whatnot. So this is Laylery Art. Just wanted to do something on like clearing, cleaning, cleansing, and some history behind it, and some artwork, some little doodles with Art Oracle as well, or just to explain, you know, all the notes I wrote down. So this is Laylery Art. I hope everyone has a good day, afternoon, evening, or night.